Good morning and welcome to the morning break. I'm Rob Patz. Hey, thank you so much. By the way, I want to especially shout out the great folks watching us on LinkedIn. 78 of you yesterday. How cool is that? Thank you so much. And of course, finding us across social media, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or X and LinkedIn. X is falling behind. I think it was like 2 people yesterday. Today's gonna be a great show. Got my buddy Jason Webb. You know him as my co-host on Thrive. That is coming up tomorrow. We do that live too. That's always so much fun. Jason and I love to do that kind of stuff because live means you don't have to edit and you don't have to worry afterwards. It's over. You've said what you're going to say. You've done what you're going to do, and it's all done. But remember, Thrive tomorrow, 10 a.m. on these favorite social media platforms. And then you can see it on replay on Abundant TV. Abundant TV, of course, the app that my wife and I started just a little over 3 years ago. And it's noon Eastern on Friday for Thrive. It's going to be a great show tomorrow. Jason and I will talk, I'm sure, a little bit about that and kind of get you involved in that. And we want you to be involved. We want you to be a part of what we are doing here on the Abundant Network. I feel like I need to back up a little bit. The camera's even closer than normal. You do not need to see that much of me. Hey, listen, I've talked about it a lot over the last week of us doing this show. Can you believe this is show number 8 of this. And I've talked about it right from the start. What are you doing for Labor Day weekend? Everybody's doing something different. And I can't wait to tell Jason about this because I think this is interesting. And Jason's from the area, so he will appreciate this. AAA came out with their forecast for the Labor Day weekend. And guess where the number one spot, and this kind of messed with me because it was actually going to the research I was doing to find the number one location. My wife and I are going to Mackinac Island up in Michigan, but I wanted to find when I was doing this research, where is the number one place people are going this year for Labor Day? Number one place is Denver, Colorado. Denver is the number one place. They are expecting just about 500,000 people extra at Denver Airport. That should be fun. Both Jason and I know how enjoyable that can be, which, by the way, just for Denver alone, that's 6% increase year to year. Also, the neat thing, because people talk about the economy and how that is going as far as how it affects everything in life. But travel this year compared to last year from 24 to 25 is down 7%. It is now 7% cheaper for you to travel this year than last. Of course, 6% of you more are going to Denver than last year. It's going to be a crazy, crazy weekend. Hey, listen, whatever you do, though, this weekend, you got to have coffee. We have the great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee. Now, remember, when you order, you go to 7weekscoffee.com, use the promo code ATV10 when you order. And we appreciate everybody that's been ordering. I've talked about it. I love this coffee. Game changer for me. And I've also talked about this. Game changer for me is for my Keurig. I can now use fresh ground coffee with just a little, it looks like a little Keurig thing that you can load yourself. I love it because then I get the fresh coffee from 7 Weeks Coffee. You don't have to deal with all those Keurig things. And how long have they been on the shelf? You don't know. But you can get fresh whole bean coffee, grind it yourself. And as I talked about, it makes you feel kind of like you're accomplishing something. It makes you feel like I've done something. I worked hard for this coffee. Great coffee from the great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee. Hey, when we come back, my buddy and co-host Jason Webb will be here. We're going to talk about life in general, probably his Denver Broncos and all kinds of things like that. We'll do that after this.
Behind every precious life, there was a choice. Behind every family moment, behind every special memory, there was a choice. A life of joy, a life that is beautifully and wonderfully made. At 7 Weeks Coffee, we are funding the pro-life movement, one cup at a time. Will you let your coffee serve a greater purpose?
Great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee. Remember, use the promo code ATV10 when you check out. They've done so many amazing things, and my wife loves to talk about them. My wife actually found 7 Weeks Coffee online and then got in contact with the people there because she loved their whole mission. And now I just love their coffee. My wife is ordering it. Now, the great thing for me is my wife doesn't like coffee. So I get a great chance to drink all of the coffee by myself. When you're an only child, that is important. This next guy, hey, listen, I love my buddy Jason Webb. My wife, when she met Jason, she went, I didn't believe there was a second person just like you. And that is the truth. Jason, how you doing, buddy? He's like my little brother, except he doesn't have hair. You'd have been born into my family. You'd have had hair. You'd have had the hair part too. You did not only be good looking like me, you'd have had hair too. It'd have made you dangerous. Maybe that's why God didn't do that. That's probably our thing. God didn't do it because he didn't want you to be that dangerous.
Probably, really. You know, I didn't start praying early in my life about keeping my hair because I never thought I would lose it. So my dad has a full head of hair. He didn't even go like salt and pepper until his 50s. And I'm like, oh, I'm great. But look at me now. I'm in my 40s and completely gone. You know, it's fine. At least I don't have a misshaped head, Rob. But yeah, you were correct. When I met Kristen, you know, we were like, she's like, you guys are basically the same people. How does this work?
Yes, we share one brain. That is it. And it's funny because Jason's referencing something that unless you follow our show, you don't know, is I actually started praying, and we talked about this on a Thrive, I think it was last year. I started praying because I come from a family of billiard balls. And I was like, Jesus, I think I was like 10. I said, Jesus, I will live for you if you give me hair all the way until, it's funny because like when you're 10, you pray for like this, like I said, at least until I'm 50. And I'm like, now I'm like, Jesus, give me hair until I die.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's the truth. We've talked about it many times on that. I love 7 Weeks Coffee. That's the first time I've seen the ad and heard about them on this. I know we've talked about it briefly, but I don't drink coffee, but I might have to try drinking after that at what they do. This is amazing.
Oh, it's incredible. Last week, we got an email, and of course, our viewers are just a small part of this, but we donated a little over $1 million to pregnancy counseling centers across the country. Super cool stuff. So, hey, listen, when you order, you go to 7weekscoffee.com, use ATV10 when you check out, you get a discount on it. And yes, and here's the thing, and this is the one thing that I've gotten feedback on. The price point's a little higher, but the coffee is amazing. And I think as you get to a certain point in life, and I know this for me, I'd rather pay it, and it's not much, but it's a little higher on the price point. I'd rather pay $1 extra to have something really good. And this coffee is great. Hey, listen, I want to talk about this. Do you sense, you live in Denver, do you sense that this is kind of a trend? Denver has been moving up.
It has.
The travel, and I didn't think of this, and maybe it's because people are going hiking. I assume that because they're flying into Denver and then going someplace else. I mean, I love Denver, don't get me wrong, but I really don't go there to hang out. I go there as like a point to get me out of town.
Yeah, there's a lot of places here to hang out with the mountains and everything else now. But DIA, Denver International Airport, is now, I think it's the 5th or 6th busiest airport in the world. very large. It's out kind of on its own, out in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot of conspiracy theories with it and all of this
There
stuff.
is.
They are building a spaceport out there now for that's where the spaceport's going to be. Crazy.
And of course,
eyebrows raise.
well, we're going for the conspiracy, which, by the way, always happens to me at like midnight. I'm laying in bed and I've got I've got the volume turned way down, and they're like, "What's underneath the airport in Denver?" I'm like, "Yeah, what is under the airport in Denver?" It's nothing, ladies and gentlemen. Probably a hospital would be my guess, a trauma care. Yeah, there's nothing under there. I hate to break it to you, ladies and gentlemen. There probably is nothing under there. And if there is, you don't know about it, you're not included.
Yeah, you do walk around DIA and they have statues and gargoyles and like Freemason stuff. I can see how people can think these things. As you're coming up to DIA, they have Lucifer, they call it. It's a big blue horse with red eyes, pretty evil. Which I don't know if you know the whole story about that, Rob. When the actual guy who was building that, it actually fell and crushed him when he was building at the end, and his son ended up finishing building it.
Yes, I heard the story, and actually, you know what it is? It is John Elway.
Hey, you can't make fun of my John Elway, okay?
Yes, it's John Elway. It's what it looks like. I love Denver. The airport is odd. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. There are some strange stuff.
Large.
And it's large. It's a great place. I will tell you, and Jason and I've talked about this on Thrive, which we're going to talk about in a second. But if I didn't live in Ohio, then Colorado is a state I would live in, because it's just gorgeous, great stuff. I love, and probably partially for me, I spent time in Aspen, Breckenridge, for holidays with family. So I've done all that kind of stuff. And so to me, that's kind of the fun part is I love the fun of Colorado.
Yeah.
But hey, tell everybody who we're going to have on tomorrow.
Of course. So tomorrow we're going to have Anthony Tallada with Evergreen Empires, and we're also going to have Eric Cabral with On Air Brands. Done a lot of stuff with many people with On Air Brands. I don't know if the audience knows about Thrive and what we do with Thrive.
I talk about it every day.
Awesome. Thriving in life, faith, business, all of the above. And it's kind of a guy show where we talk about some guy things, but we definitely bring in some of the some emotional pieces into this, because I know Rob and I don't necessarily look like, but we are emotional guys. Okay. That's it. we can open up about that, but it's just fun. It's a blast. And we talk about the struggles people have in life, and also being able to thrive. So the guests tomorrow, got to know them for, the last few months. And I just love having the platform where we can talk about God and all these pieces.
Oh yeah. And it's so cool. And Jason does a great job. I'm what they call a front man. I come on at the start and then I'm on at the end, and Jason handles the interviews and does a great job. And such amazing things that have happened over just a little over, what is it now, about 18 months that we've been doing the show?
Yeah, I think we have over 50 episodes now, don't we?
Yes, we're over 50.
That's
it is so amazing to see what God has done and the reach of that. We've had some shows where we've had over 100,000 people watch them, which is crazy still to this day.
It is.
And you know who we should have on here? Like one of the Wednesdays, just would be fun. I just thought of this. We should have Anthony on. On.
Real Men Ministries.
You and me do the kind of a reunion, because that episode where he talked about men's ministry is one of our most popular rewatches. Now you can find Thrive with yours truly and Mr. Jason Webb on the Abundant TV app. You can download the app if you haven't already for Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, or for your favorite phone, whether you have Android or you are an Apple person. I honestly feel sorry for you if you have an Android phone. I do.
I laugh because I have an Apple too. It's just
we're Apple.
Yeah.
The other day I said I could actually, from where I'm sitting right now, touch 5 Apple products.
You and me both. That's why I laugh.
Yeah, this is like, and the phone is always funny. And if you think the same, get a new contact, a business contact, and I'll text them, and I see the green come up, and I just immediately go, oh, I feel sorry for them. So
you need the blue dot, right? Yeah, the blue.
you gotta have that blue dot. Gotta have that.
Mhm.
So hey, listen, before we go, we gotta talk about the football. We've got two things. Now, see, here's another reason you need to watch Thrive over the next couple of weeks. This weekend, Ohio State, Texas. My buddy Jason, who I love to death, he's like a little brother I'd never wanted. He is a big Horns fan. Oh, what is that?
Look at that. See? Oh, Rob, that's cool stuff. See? Didn't even know that was going to happen.
I didn't know what that was. I have to be honest with you. It scared me. Obviously, now we know that people that are fans of Texas are from the devil, because that had to be something that was ungodly. Showed his true inner spirit. Okay.
Oh, I'm crying here. Oh, that's funny.
But we have a little wager going. We don't like to call it a bet because there's no money involved.
No.
And for all you people that are uptight, we don't want you to get like sending me notes about gambling, because it's not really gambling. But we have a little side wager going. The winner of the game, because see, I'm an Ohio State fan. National champions, Ohio State. National champions.
That's last year.
It's not. No, there's.
They are the national champions until somebody takes it over.
As Ric Flair used to say, you're not going to be the man until you beat the man. And
well, we'll see how this goes this week.
So this weekend, Arch Manning, who I love. Okay, so here's the problem. I really love Arch Manning. So that's it's hard for me to cheer against him, but this weekend on Fox, you can watch Ohio State dismantle Texas, and it'll go like that. And
with this, I don't mind Ohio State at all. It's just now that they're playing each other, we're going to root for each other, against each other.
Exactly.
It's not like
so
they're
here's the thing.
Yeah.
You got to tune in to the show. Now, it probably, because of Amazon and the long weekend, it probably won't be this next week that the other person has to wear the jersey or the hoodie or whatever, something. And I'm going to start sending Jason the Ohio State things I think he should buy.
You might have to get me, if Ohio State wins, which is a big if, you might have to get me the Buckeye head.
I don't know if I can do that. I think that's against the law. I don't think I can send that out of state. Now, if you lived here, I could get you Bucky.
Got it.
Bucky the Buckeye. And oh, so funny. So I know my neighbors don't watch this. And in fact, the people have moved now. So, but across the street from me, I live in a cul-de-sac, so you know. In my cul-de-sac, the guy across the way used to have Bucky with the big head as an inflatable, and then he had a Santa hat on, and then he had the reindeer in front, so he was Santa.
Well, that makes sense, because usually the national championships after Christmas, so he didn't have anything to do for the national championship, so he had to deliver presents.
Yes, he did. He was out doing that because he was killing every team on the way there.
I just figured the season was already over by then. So
we see you, Ohio. Oregon. Yes. Came into that Rose Bowl like, yeah, we're gonna do good, and they got train wrecked by the first quarter. I was like, okay, we can turn the game off. We can go to something else.
Hey, Rob, I do have one thing I want to bring up other than football. So I know just recent news was just broke that we're going to see Old Herschel still on the sign for Cracker Barrel.
Not that the food's going to be any better,
but they're keeping the old sign. I think, they heard the news, right? They heard the chatter.
Here's my thing on that. Okay. And this, and I made this point a couple days ago here on this show. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it was it came to a head because the food's so bad.
It used to be really, really good food. It's definitely went downhill. We went a couple weeks ago after church, and went and ate, and I was like, man, this just isn't as good as it used to be. Well,
and the portions are smaller.
Yeah.
And that was it. I mean, like, I get it was grandma, I think it's called Grandma's Breakfast. And I haven't been for a year. So I always like to give that disclaimer. I haven't been for a year, but I got Grandma's Breakfast, and the pancakes, which used to take up the whole plate, they came out and they were like tiny. I took a picture of them. I went, what are these? These are not pancakes. And I actually put on Instagram at Cracker Barrel, these are not pancakes. These are those little I thought they'd given me the kids menu
Well,
pancakes.
Rob, we're large guys, as you know this. They probably looked at you and like maybe he needs a little smaller pancake. I don't
Just
know.
to cut down just a little bit. I appreciate you saying that. But yes, Herschel's back. Cracker Barrel announcing late last night. Basically, I don't know. So being somebody who works in that realm of TV and news and stuff like that, and especially public relations, I don't know if they were hoping that it would be the first story of the day. So they announced it last night, but I started seeing it last night.
Mhm.
And I know they tried to dump it after 7 o'clock, but holy cow, every show was talking about it. Listen, here's my thing. Great, you're going back to this logo. Here's the thing that I hope you heard in everybody that talked was you need to do better on the food. Because if you noticed, everybody was saying, yeah, well, it sucks, this sucks, or whatever it was. But at the end of the day, everybody also was saying, listen, I don't go there as much anymore because the food isn't good.
Yeah. I saw a lot of that as well because on our Twitter feeds, which you can find us both on Twitter, I see a lot of these things on there, and you were completely right. Like a lot of people were still going, but the food's definitely not where it was, and this is kind of the straw that was like, just the food isn't even as good as what is anyway, so I'm just not going to go.
And I'll agree. Hey, listen, some of those places, including like the one that I go to when I go to the radio station, they've been around for 40 years. They need a refresh. So I get that, but don't just train wreck everything all at once. I mean, if you want to look like IHOP, go for it. I mean, and see the problem in the South, which is a big part of Cracker Barrel's market. I mean, you've got Huddle House. If you're not from the South, you don't know what Huddle House is, but you've got Huddle House and Waffle House. And they're both sitting there going, hey, listen, we're still here. Yeah.
They haven't changed at all. Some of those Waffle Houses you go in, they've never remodeled. It's still good food.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know if I've ever heard of a Waffle House remodel.
Me neither.
They probably don't have that form. I think they just tear them down after a while. It's just kind of like they fall apart.
That's true. But yeah, you're right. They're still there.
It is. It's the last prediction. And then I've got to run. Last prediction, Denver Broncos for this season. And we'll have you back on. We're going to have Jason on regularly to talk about Thrive. But last preseason prediction, the record for the Denver Broncos this year with Mo picks.
Based off of the preseason where we were 3-0 and had the number one offense and the number one defense, we're going 17-0, Rob. No, completely joking. I say we're 11-6.
11-6. Hey, that's still a good record. Hey, listen, one thing Jason talked about X just a little bit ago. Another thing that Jason and I are a part of and we're super proud of is Axe Social. Axe Social is a great network. We're over there. We're a corporate sponsor with them, and you can find Jason and I on there. Plus, right now, the fastest growing group on there is the Abundant Group. So you can check that out. And hey, Jason, thanks, buddy, for being with me today. I appreciate it so much. When we come back, we got final thoughts for today.
Social media today is noisy, divided, and too often hostile to Christian values, a place where truth is twisted and faith is often silenced. What if there was a place for believers where you could share your story, grow in your faith, and be encouraged every day? Introducing Axe Social, the #1 Christ-centered social platform built to unite Christians worldwide in truth, hope, and love. Share your faith openly. Discover powerful, uplifting content. Join prayer groups. Encourage others. Find news and events from a biblical worldview all in one place. And do it all free from big tech censorship, invasive tracking, and endless ads. Because the body of Christ was never meant to be scattered. It was meant to be together, every day, everywhere. AxeSocial.com, the fastest growing platform for Christ-centered connection. Join us and be part of something eternal.
Hey, the great folks at Axe Social are just awesome. Sean, I've known for a few weeks now. And as I said, Abundant TV, one of the corporate sponsors, along with Hobby Lobby and Chick-fil-A. So we're in pretty cool company in Grand Canyon University, if I remember right. So pretty cool people to be able, and we believe in social media, as you probably have figured out with what we do at Abundant TV. We completely believe in it. Hey, listen, one thing and we've talked a lot about this in Northern Lights. My wife wanting to see the Northern Lights. Another event coming up is a blood moon. We've got a fiery red blood moon coming up the 7th and 8th of September. Kind of interesting. It has some biblical things that have been written about the blood moons and about that kind of stuff. And you want to check that out. The 7th and 8th, they recommend you go out of the city so you can really see it and really get the amazing look. I've seen some pictures of past fiery red blood moons, and they're really cool. And it's something that we definitely will do. I've texted Kristen about it because I found out about it this morning. So I'm sure the 7th and 8th we'll find ourselves out somewhere. It'll be in a field. So I'll be outstanding in a field. Some field. Don't know what it is. Thank you for that joke. I appreciate it. Appreciate your laughter, even though you're not laughing. Hey, listen, one other thing I wanted to find interesting today that I found as a news story last night, because Jason and I talked about eating and how we love to eat and love to, just go good places and stuff. So I found this website and they were talking about foods that are trending for this fall. And I, of course, like I said, I am totally into good food. And so I always go, so what's trending this year? I don't even remember what was trending last year. So obviously it didn't matter either way. But this year, charcuterie boards are trending for 2025. Now, I will tell you, I've seen them all over the place for the last few years, but it's the big thing this year. But not only is it the big thing here in the United States, it has now grown to a global number one. So it should be interesting. And it's they're kind of changing them. So here's what you're going to see. Instead of the normal, what we think of here in the United States, they're going to add some more global flavors. And I'm interested to see this. So if you're planning your holidays, you got to have a charcuterie board, and charcuterie boards are hard for me to say. Did an ad a few years ago for a grocery store that was selling them. It took me about 30 takes, literally 30 takes, to get the word charcuterie down. And as you can tell, it was interesting. So, man, hey, where's the time gone? Hey, I want to tell you a couple things because I appreciate each and every one of you for watching this over the last, as we've said, 8 shows that we've now done. I won't be with you on Friday. We'll not be back until next Wednesday. My wife and I are going away for our anniversary, and of course it's also Labor Day, so we're doing a little of both. And I just wanted to let you know. So we'll be back next Wednesday. I do not have, next Wednesday. Holy cow, it will be Jason again. I did not realize that. So pretty cool. We will see you then. More of the same kind of just fun stuff. Just cool things to do and hang out, drink some coffee, talk about life. That's what we do. We'll see you again next time for the morning break.